Public debt is a term we hear a lot, but what does it actually mean? Let's break it down in a way that's easy to understand. Imagine you want to buy something big, like a new phone, but you don't have enough cash saved up. So, you ask your parents if they can lend you the money. They agree, but they want you to pay them back later, maybe with a little extra as a thank you for lending you the money. In this scenario, the money your parents lend you is like debt. Now, let's switch this idea to a country. Countries need money to pay for things like building roads, schools, and hospitals or paying government workers. But sometimes, a country doesn't have enough money saved up to cover all these expenses. So, what do? They borrow money, and that's where public debt comes in. Just like when you borrow money from your parents, a country borrows money from people, banks, or even other countries. How do they do that? Well, one of the most common ways is by issuing bonds. A bond is like an IOU. The country promises to pay back the money it borrows, with interest, over time. So, if the country borrows $100 million, it might promise to pay that back in 10 years with extra money on top. That extra money is the interest. But here's the thing, just like you have to make sure you pay your parents back for that phone, countries need to be careful with how much they borrow. If they borrow too much, they could run into trouble. Imagine if you borrowed money from your parents, then borrowed even more to buy a car, and kept borrowing more. Eventually, your parents might stop lending you money. That's the problem countries face if they can't pay back what they owe. That's why it's important for countries to borrow wisely. Sometimes borrowing money is necessary to pay for important things that help the country grow, like building infrastructure or investing in healthcare. But the key is to make sure the country can pay back that debt in the future, without causing financial trouble down the road. So, public debt is like borrowing money to pay for big expenses, but just like with any loan, it has to be managed responsibly. When done right, it can help a country move forward and improve things for its people. But if not, it can lead to serious financial problems.